What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're tuned in from. It is time to break down the charts, get your day started. Let's dive right on into it. My name's Kellam. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily show. We do 2 a day, most days. So tune in over at youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. Join us here. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going on in the charts. Bitcoin. We are at a critical juncture, and I'm going to pull this up on the chart here in just a moment and show you this a little bit closer, but we're seeing, look at this, market cycle double top we had here. We know the sell-off. We know the FTX crash. We know this push-up we had in January. And look at this level that we found resistance on. And this push-up we've had most recently, we wonder why it didn't continue up. Well, look left on the chart. It told you that this is an area of interest, and this area of interest has not yet been broken. So are we in for more upside or downside? Are we going to break out? Well, let's look a little further. And by the way, make sure you're tune into the afternoon streams when we do those here at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time on BitLab Academy. Looking here, another chart showing the bullish case, more macro. We've had this long sort of channel of basically the sell-off from previous all-time high, accumulation and push up, breakdown, push up, breakdown. This is very early on, so a lot less monetary energy was needed, meaning less money was needed to push price higher. There's less demand needed because of the volatility of the market early on. We could see this starting to, I don't want to say slow down, but it's definitely been tempered quite a bit as the market cap has grown. So what are we seeing here? Again, sell off. This is at capitulation down to from about $6,000 to about $3,500. We had the push up all the way up near $14,000. Sell off, black swan event right here. We found support right at a known level. Pushed up into that double top that we just showed in this last chart right here. This is that area that we're looking at on this chart. And we're selling off. We got a little bit of a deviation below, meaning we deviated below this level of support. And we're sort of in this sideways chop accumulation. People want to call this an uptrend, but is it really an uptrend in the scheme of things? We have not yet started to really make strong headway to the upside. So we got to pay attention to what's going on a smaller time frame so we don't get ourselves out of position and unable to take advantage of those big gains in the long run. So as it stands right now, we got to pay attention. Is a parabola coming? Absolutely. Bullish uptrend is going to be incredible, whether it's in mid-2024 or all the way delayed into 2025. Either way, it's coming. The question is, can you hold on till then? Can you not trade yourself out of capital? Right now, I am position trading, primarily taking longer term approaches, taking advantage of those opportunities when we are getting downside, because we never know what's going to happen right now with all the stuff going on in the global monetary system, as well as the global conflict that's happening right now. So we got to be prepared. We got to manage our risk accordingly. Next thing I want to look at, another chart from Stock Money Trades. This is a bullish case, but is it? So what we can see here, this is a more local range we're looking at. This is a local range looking essentially that sell-off that we had, and the sort of push-ups and all this stuff. This would be down here. This was a grayscale pump, sell-off back to equilibrium, and then we had this slow, actually more healthy move up into this region. What is this region? Why is it important? Previous lows, the lows of this consolidation range up here before price broke down. We have not been able to break that. There's nothing bullish if we cannot break past the lows of the most recent range. So as it stands right now, what this is highlighting is this 0.5 fib, which is 50% from this high, or this high to this low. That's 50% of the way down. Okay, and on this move, we can see we found support here and then rocket shipped up. Well, what we see here, come down, we're testing that 0.5. Does this mean it's going up? Remember, eventually it's going to. Is the market context right now supporting of a narrative of price action actually pushing up? So what this identifies to me is not that, hey, we bounced here before in a previous fractal, meaning, historical chart of a similar shape in the past. This is what it did before. Does it mean it's going to happen this time? The context is entirely different. So who knows? If it does start pushing up, I'm going to be more patient, wait to break these lows. Also, this trend line that we've established here, I want to break through this region before I start getting all gung-ho and, putting my capital at risk in a trade. I'm waiting on this moment. If you are taking trades from here to here, more power to you. I'm not saying don't. What I'm saying is manage your risk accordingly when the context of the market is not suggesting upside is in store yet. I'm watching this more predominantly. This area right here, this right about 26,580. And yesterday or the day before, I mentioned when price was up here, I'm looking for a $26,500 mark, 26.6. This is exactly what we've come back to. So if we lose this level, the next level down we'd be looking at is this previous low right here. And we're going to be bringing that up on the charts here in just a moment. So next thing we have to pay attention to today, Grayscale. What's going to happen here? Let's go ahead and read this from the Wolf of Wall Street's Mr. Scott Melker. Kind of contextualizes it quite nicely. Will the SEC appeal the Grayscale decision? The deadline is today. The SEC faces the deadline to appeal the DC court appeals court decision that ruled in favor of Grayscale Investments application for a spot ETF. If the SEC doesn't appeal that court decision, it must either approve Grayscale's application, which means Bitcoin spot ETF engage on the gates are open, or it could find another way to delay it. I think this is probably more likely. We'll find out by the end of the day, but this is probably more like it, this delay. While analysts consider an appeal unlikely, the SEC could still find avenues to delay approval. For instance, it could reject the application on new grounds, opening the door for another round of legal battles. The SEC could also take up to 8 months to make a decision if the New York Stock Exchange has to file anew to list Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. So there's a lot of different strategies coming out of the woodworks of, analysts are trying to figure out what could happen. And if this happens and that's what investing and trading is all about, to do it consistently over time. And luckily we are part of this great wide world now where we have all these different thoughts shared. It's up to us to decipher through them and figure out how we're going to manage our risks. So if Grayscale's application gets approved, it could set a precedent, making it challenging for the SEC to deny other pending spot ETFs. So there's a lot on the docket today, but we don't want to put the cart before the horse. Let's be a little bit patient. Let's see what shakes out here. I still think there's a high likelihood this will be delayed, likely at earliest to the end of 2023, more likely than not sometime in the first month or two of 2024. Now, looking at the chart right here, I just want to point out this line, that line that we're talking about, we were pushing up against. Now, on a shorter range, this is on a daily chart, on a shorter range, we have broken out of this downtrend resistance, come back and found support on it. So on this range right here, we're kind of in a precarious situation where it could go up, it could go down, but what is the broader context of the market right now? It is leaning bearish. So even if we do push up, it does not mean put all your eggs in that basket, go leverage long. What this suggests is there's something very scary in store, that if this does bounce up, that we get some sort of relief rally like this. And then what would that make? That would make a head and shoulders right here, where we have the left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder right there. If this is the case, what does that spell? Let's go ahead from the neckline to the top of the head. We measure that to what the neckline to the downside would be. That would be suggesting the target would be down here somewhere just around 25 to 24.7 sort of zone. We already had this level marked out. This is a benefit of drawing your lines on the chart, finding the levels that matter based on a lot of confluence of price action interacting with that support or resistance line. So if this plays out, again, this is what you like to do, set up the opportunities if they develop in the way that you see they could be developing. If this doesn't turn into head and shoulders, maybe it's just a little bit of a bear flag here, and then it sort of trickles its way down, all the way down here into this 25.9, 25.8 zone. This whole zone would still, following this trend line as support and following this trend line as support, the confluence in this region, if this does work its way down into this region, this still would be roughly about the same lows as this low. It would be, if we do dip into this, we technically would be at a new low. Just depends on where price goes. Point being is, yes, we have a little bit of an attempt here, but we got to see what the reaction of the bulls is and how the bears respond to it on any sort of relief to the upside here. So we need to be patient, let some things develop. Today's going to be a big day based on that Grayscale decision. And I'm guessing it's probably going to spell a little bit of speculative volatility. not in terms of huge movements on the charts, depending on if you're looking at a 10-minute chart versus a daily chart. This is why it's good right now to make sure you have the broader picture. Now, did want to point out here, the total 3 market cap did lose this level, which we've talked about, and it's coming down. Are we going to come down to find this previous support down here at the 312 billion zone, which would be a little bit further down, which would spell downward price action for the broader altcoin market. So pay attention to that. The dominance here, Bitcoin dominance is, which makes sense that the altcoin market is falling. This has been pushing up. Are we going to have a new, a lower high here, or is this going to come up and find its way up to 52? We're going to have to keep an eye on this. Now, the broader market, I've been talking about it. Oil and gold. Where's that chart at? There's the oil and gold chart. Look at this chart. Oil and gold. Gold is just pushing higher. So there is a flight to safety right now. Now, this is great for gold. Bitcoin's supposed to be digital gold. Why isn't Bitcoin following trend? It's not yet there. If we start to see that happening, then we can act accordingly. As it stands right now, this is signaling to us a little bit of a flight to safety. So we gotta just be aware of this. Similarly, look at this. Since the Fed started raising rates in March 2020, monthly bankruptcies have more than doubled. Bankruptcies are, we talked about this, bankruptcies are super, super high. Credit, the amount of debt that's taken on credit is $1 trillion. Savings are basically near gone for retail consumers. We all can also see right here, home prices, the ratio of home prices to median income, meaning how much your price, the price of your house costs compared to what people are making. This is through the roof. How the hell where's the capital coming from? Things are not set up for some huge economic boom in any short time frame sort of consideration. We can also see this right here. The probability of a recession in 2024 is now over 60%. We got to be aware. We got to be smart. Hedge your bets, because when we're looking at everything with Bitcoin, we are still under critical levels. You don't need to catch every 0.01% of the move to make sure you no. Be patient. Be a little more conservative. Place your trades based on setups. Place your investments based on timeline. Be smart. Make sure you check me out over at, I wanted to say this also. Look at the U.S. debt. Since 2008, $24 trillion in U.S. debt since 2008. Now, make sure you head over. Give me a follow right here at Kelly Kellam. Make sure you follow BitLab Academy at Academy BitLab. I don't know why something's wrong. There we go. We got it. And make sure you check us out at bitlabacademy.com to learn how to read these charts, learn how to implement healthy and profitable trading strategies, and take control of your future. Hope to see you there. Click and roll now right there. You can use Give Me 30 for 30% off. Join our community. We got an incredible Discord community that is a premium Discord that is a part of the BitLab Academy course membership. And with that, again, make sure you check us out, youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. I love you. I appreciate you. Hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Adios. Adios, muchachos.